When Chuck Berry passed away in 2017, his family believed they already knew the full story of the man who helped invent rock and roll. They were wrong. Inside a hotel safe, investigators uncovered a hidden collection so disturbing that it made Berry's past scandals look tame in comparison. This wasn't simply about his well-known history of voyeurism, where he secretly filmed women inside the restroom of his restaurant. What they found in that safe revealed a darker side of Berry that even his closest relatives could never have imagined. Today we open that safe, exposing the secrets Chuck Berry spent decades hiding. Charles Edward Anderson Berry was born on October 18, 1926, in St. Louis, Missouri, into a world still gripped by racial segregation. His father, Henry Berry, was a Baptist deacon and contractor, while his mother, Martha, was remarkable for her time, an African-American woman who earned a college degree and worked as a school principal. Chuck grew up in the Ville, a proud black middle-class neighborhood where ambition and culture thrived. He was the fourth of 6 children, surrounded by music, discipline, and strong values. Outside his home, segregation was everywhere. Public pools, playgrounds, and parks barred to black children, and inside, though, there was harmony. As a boy, Berry once mistook white firemen for people whose faces had turned pale from fear, proof of how sharply divided society was. That sense of separation and the longing to break free from it later flowed into the lyrics of his songs, like Brown-Eyed Handsome Man. Music first took hold in church. At 6, Berry joined the men's choir at Antioch Baptist, where his father preached and his mother played piano. He studied how music stirred emotion in people, an instinct he carried with him for life. At 15, Berry bought his very first guitar for $14. Influenced by blues icons like T-Bone Walker and Muddy Waters, he spent endless hours practicing alone in his basement. Jazz guitarist Ira Harris later gave him lessons that refined his style. In high school, Berry performed Confessin' the Blues at Sumner High School's talent show. Though administrators scolded him for the song's raw energy, students loved it. That night, Berry realized music had power, even if it got him in trouble. But in 1944, at only 17, Berry's life veered off course. He and friends attempted a cross-country trip, and after finding a discarded pistol, they committed a series of robberies. He was sentenced to 10 years at a reform school in Jefferson City, Missouri. Prison didn't end his creativity. He formed a singing group and even boxed. On his 21st birthday, October 18, 1947, he walked free, carrying the shame of his conviction, but determined to start over. A new start in family. Berry worked as a janitor at the Fisher Body Plant for $50 a week, studied hairdressing at night, and chased his musical dreams in between. He married Themetta Toddy Suggs in 1948. By 1950, they welcomed their first child, Ingrid. That same year, Berry bought his first electric guitar. He earned his first paycheck for music, sixth-clared at a small gig in 1952, and soon met pianist Johnny Johnson, who became his lifelong collaborator. In 1955, Berry drove to Chicago to meet Muddy Waters, who introduced him to Leonard Chess of Chess Records. 1 week later, Berry returned with 4 songs, including Ida May, later renamed Maybelline. Released in July 1955, the song sold over 1 million copies, topping the R&B charts and breaking into the pop top 5. Berry's signature guitar, riffs on Maybelline, became the foundation of rock and roll. The duck walk, his famous stage move, was born later that year when he crouched to hide the wrinkles in his suit and shuffled across stage, electrifying the audience. Hits, fame, and racial barriers. Between 1956 and 1958, Berry released hits like Roll Over Beethoven, School Days, and his masterpiece, Johnny Be Good. The last was partly autobiographical, referencing his childhood street, Good Avenue. Originally, he wrote, "That little colored boy could play," but changed it to "Country Boy" to secure radio play. In 1977, NASA's Voyager spacecraft carried Johnny B. Goode into space on the golden record, immortalizing Berry's music among the stars. But Berry's life was never free of controversy. In 1959, he opened Club Bandstand, where black and white teens could dance together. Authorities soon targeted him. He was accused under the Mann Act of transporting a 14-year-old girl across state lines. After multiple trials marked by racist remarks from judges, Berry was sentenced in 1962 to 3 years in prison. Released in 1963, he returned to music with hits like Nadine and You Never Can Tell. Yet friends noticed he had grown colder, more withdrawn. In 1972, he unexpectedly scored his only #1 hit with My Ding-a-Ling, a novelty song filled with double entendres. Critics slammed it, parents protested, but it sold over 1 million copies. Berry became notorious for demanding payment in cash before shows. No money, no show. The IRS caught up with him, and in 1979 he served 4 months in prison for tax evasion. The most damaging scandal exploded in 1990 when police raided his Missouri estate. Inside, they found 62 grams of marijuana, several firearms, $122,000 in cash, and something far worse. Dozens of videotapes revealed women filmed without their knowledge in the restroom of Berry's restaurant, the Southern Air. Some were minors. Lawsuits followed. By 1994, Berry had paid over $1.5 million in settlements to nearly 60 women. The Southern Air closed, his reputation shattered. Investigators also discovered a vast private pornography collection Berry had built since the 1970s, some of which included him on camera. Despite decades of scandal, Berry's wife Themeta stayed by his side for nearly 70 years. They raised 4 children, Ingrid, Aloha, Charles Jr., and Melody. From 1996 to 2014, Berry performed more than 200 shows at Blueberry Hill in St. Louis, with his kids often joining him on stage. On January 1, 2011, Berry collapsed on stage during a Chicago performance at age 84. He recovered briefly, but his health declined. On March 18, 2017, emergency responders were called to his home. By 1:26 p.m., Chuck Berry was pronounced dead from cardiac arrest at age 90. His estate was valued at $50 million, including $17 million in music rights and $13 million in publishing. Chuck Berry changed music forever. His riffs inspired the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and his lyrics gave voice to American youth. Yet his legacy remains clouded by scandal, lawsuits, and deeply troubling revelations. He was the man who sent Johnny B. Goode into the cosmos, and the man who hid tapes in a safe that exposed his darkest secrets.